Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. So this video today is on a 2003 Renault Megane, and this car came to me with two issues. Will be a separate video for the other issues, so just stay tuned. But the issue we're gonna tackle here now is an issue with the wipers. So the wipers don't work. Okay, the rear wiper, if you're gonna look there on the mirror, it works. Okay, but the front wipers, they don't work. So let's gonna try to figure out what the problem is. And I haven't checked any fuses or anything like that. This car came from another garage. They said to me they checked him. They check the fuse and all that stuff. I always like to check myself, but for now we're just gonna look at the machine, look at the scanner, because I had the scanner already plugged in for the other repair, and we're gonna have a look and just try to see if we can see anything there that can somehow create this issue. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm using clip at this moment, and what I wanted to do is we're gonna go to UPC first, because UPC is the module that controls my wipers. So we're gonna go to there, and we're gonna see that we have no communication to start with for some reason. Let me see. Okay, we are having an issue here. Hang on a second, guys. Let me rescan the car. Okay, and the car is just finished. The scan just finished. Let's gonna go continue. Let's see if we can now communicate properly with the UPC. Yes, we can. And the first thing I wanted to do, or we're gonna do, is we're just gonna go quick to status. Okay, and we're gonna go to wiper power, and what I wanted to look at there is front wiper protection blocked. Okay, which means something is preventing the front wipers from running. Okay, and when we go back, we won't actually. Hang on a second, let me see. I don't think he's here. No, this is just status, actuators. So actuators, if I try to let's say low speed, if I try to actuate, it says command in progress, but as you can see, nothing happens. Now let's gonna go back. I don't have any other live data as far as I'm aware, but there is no fault, so something else obviously is causing this issue. Now we're gonna go to body control module, or UCH. We're gonna see that we have one fault, but before we go to check that fault, front driver, what is the I want it to go. This is access wiper command. So vehicle speed, wiper stalk position is off, rain sensor sensitivity ring position 1, windscreen wiper request by rain sensor is absent, so there's no rain sensor. Front washer request absent, rear wiper request absent, rear screen wiper park position present, rear washer request, reverse key engage no. So what I want to, the first thing we're going to see is, or that I want to see, is if this signal is being sent, if the UCH is seeing the inputs from the stalker. So, and what we're gonna do is, if you're gonna look at the second line, that says wiper start stock position, and I'm gonna a second. Much easier to hold the phone like this. So I'm gonna put it like in position that one, and this it says timer. Then windscreen wiper request by rain sensor. It says present because there is a rain sensor. Okay, and obviously when I put in the position for the rain sensor, that's how it works. Sensitivity ring protection is 1. If I turn this around, 2, 3, 4, so that's all working. Now if I go for the speed 1, slow speed, and obviously he ignores the rain sensor. Then if I go fast speed, there is, so it's all working. So the UCH is definitely seeing the inputs from my stalker. So my problem is not going to be the stalker, it's going to be something else. Now we need to figure out why I do have so the fault present in there. I'll show you what the present is. It says optical sensor circuit. This optical sensor circuit is nothing to do, as far as I'm aware, it should be having nothing to do with my wipers, because I believe this sensor is the one used for the auto lights, so it should not influence my my wipers. But at the moment, what we need to figure out, obviously, is why my UPC tells me that my wiper power, front wiper protection, why is blocked. And that's what we're gonna try to figure out now. Okay guys, and I've just watched the last clip I've done on this car for the wipers, which was about 3 or 4 days ago, or 3 days ago, sorry. Yeah, today is raining. I was trying to code a CCC on that Beamer, which if you follow my channel you might have seen, or you might see a video for that. It didn't went very well as expected, so I just came back on here to record this bit. If the weather helps, we might go a little bit further. If not, I'm just gonna record this section now, or this clip now. And basically I believe, watching the last clip, I said we would have to try to figure out why the UPC was blocking the wipers on this car. So the wipers don't work, as we have seen, we established that. And right, if I recall, I don't know the exactly entire details of the functionality of this system, but I know the important bits, and that's what I'm going to take you through. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it now or to show you now, but if we need to restart to cycle the ignition, we will do. So let's gonna go here. Okay, so it's already blocked, as we have seen on the last clip. Now, as many issues on this car and other cars, newer cars, most of the cars, when you turn the ignition on, the issue does a kind of a health check on the car. So the airbag lights checks all the system. If the systems are okay, the airbag light goes off. If not, it will throw a code. It will throw a code, it will throw a light on. ABS the same. The UPC in this car also does a kind of a startup check. It doesn't throw any lights, but it does a check. And if it finds an issue, it throws that. In this case, front wiper protection says blocked. Now, what is this system going to look for when you turn the ignition on? It's going to look for the park position. So it's going to wait. So the wipers are in the park position at the moment, as you can see. They are right down there. So I'm going to presume they look, judging by the marks on the windscreen, which I'm not going to show you now because it's raining, I don't want to go outside, but they are in the park position. Now, what the UPC is going to look for is for the park position signal, which at this moment in time, you have seen also a video that I've done on a S-Class, and I talked a little bit about the park position, and that's going to be very similar, the system. So is the motor itself is going to either short to ground or to positive. Usually it's to ground one of the wires, which will send the signal back to the UPC, say, hey, I'm in the park position. So when you select off, the wipers don't stop just on any position. So they're going to carry on running until they reach the park position, sends the signal to the UPC, and the UPC shuts the wipers off. So that's roughly how the system works. And that's what we're going to see, or we're going to try to establish, is if the system is actually seeing that position. And how we're going to do it is the following. I'm going to turn my ignition off. So my ignition is on. I'm going to turn my ignition off. Okay. And my ignition is off now. So very shortly, that blocked. I don't want to let the UPC to go actually to shut off, but that should very shortly change to inactive. If not, will be when I turn the key on again. It's gonna wait a couple seconds more. Let me see if locking the car makes a difference. Oh, there we go. So I've locked the car. That goes to inactive, yeah? So before I lose connection with the system, I'm going to unlock the car, put my key on, and turn the ignition on, yeah? So ignition on. And what you're going to see now is that's going to change from inactive to timed. I'll explain in a minute what this is. Timed. Now it's going to change to inactive again. It's going to do it a few times. So you can see we're still in the front wiper protection. Timed. I will explain in a bit what this is, guys. I could go straight to the repair, ignore all this, but I just want to take you through my thinking process, through the diagnose, so make sure we diagnose the right thing. So you guys understand a little bit as well more these systems and how they work. So you can go along with me on this diagnostic and repair. So still switching between timed and inactive, but very shortly it will go back to blocked. Just wait. You can see even when it says inactive, I still have no wipers. Okay, doesn't matter the position I put them on, it's still going through that. I don't want to pause because I want you to see the whole process. Very shortly that will go to blocked again. Okay, let it go through. It takes a few attempts. It doesn't really matter, as I showed you, it doesn't really matter where you have your wipers. So if you have them running or not, they don't work anyway. And there we go, and we are back to blocked. So from now on, they will not work whatsoever. But as you've seen, when we kind of restart the UPC done that check. So what was that inactive and timed? So every time it would say inactive, that means the UPC was ready to power the wipers. Now, the problem was the UPC was waiting. When we were saying active, the UPC was waiting for the signal of the park position, and it waits for that time, and because it doesn't see the park position, it goes to timed. So when it goes to timed, it basically inhibits the wipers from working for those few seconds while it says timed. And it's basically like if he's pausing and he goes, well, okay, I'm gonna try again, and then he tries again. He's gonna look for that park position again. Because he doesn't see it, he goes timed again. And then he tries all those times, as you have seen. There's a few times he goes through the cycle until he reaches whichever many times the UPC is programmed for, to then say, okay, I don't see this signal, something is wrong with the wipers, I'm going to block them. And then he goes into block state. And and that's where he is now, and that is when he prevents the wipers from working. So this tells me that the UPC is doing their job, and my problem is going to be either with my wiper motor, which we'll be checking that. It can be wiring, or can be my UPC itself. Although internally, the UPC, I mean software-wise, the UPC seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's roughly how it works. I hope this explanation is clear enough, because it's 8 minutes already explaining this. So let's gonna crack on with the repair. And the first thing I'm gonna do, check the motor, make sure my motor is actually working fine. If it is, then we'll proceed from there. Okay guys, and today is a better day. This is like 3 or 4 days later, and I just had a quick check on this, and I want to show you the way not to do things. Let me see if I can lift this early a bit and just show you in there the wires. You see in there? We're gonna possibly, I don't know if I'm gonna need to remove this, possibly not. I think I can reach that plug in there just by lifting this a little bit. But one of the way not to do it is like someone else did already. Look at those wires there. Don't do this, guys. Don't do this. So let me unplug this and try to figure out how this works. Okay, and what I would do at this point would be take this cover off and to have a better access. But because they have pierced all these wires here already, we're just going to use this to do our tests. I wouldn't do this, but right. So we have 4 wires here, and we have a black wire on pin right there. I don't know if you can see the plug, possibly not, but the first pin on the left. Actually, let me take this out. I'll show you outside. So there we go. So we have a thick black wire, a thinner one, brown and white. One all brown thinner, and then a thicker one, purple. I should get the diagrams for this, but I'm gonna get straight away here that this is gonna be my ground, this is gonna be my voltage, then one of these wires is gonna be my speed 2 possibly, and the other one the position signal, the park position signal. So let's gonna see if my theory is correct. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is to measure that my black wire is my ground. And let's gonna put it like this so you can see. So let's gonna go okay, ground over there. See if I have, I'm not sure where this is fed from. Okay, 3.8 ohms, and that's on my battery. Let me see. Oh, it's proper on the battery. Okay, 3.7 ohms. Oh, you can't see. And this is at the battery, so most likely this is going to be my ground. Then that's going to be my voltage in there. So what I'm going to do, just hold a second. Okay, so I'm actually doing slightly different, just because I had a plug that fits here perfectly. And what I think I do have here, let me place the phone here. So this is my pin number 1, which over here is my black number 1. I'm sure it is number 1, yeah. And then my pink one on this plug is my purple one here. So it's the 2 at the edges. And what I do have here, let me show you here, is that I have pretty much a short between those 2 wires. So I don't think this is then between the other ones. I haven't done the other one. This I have, let me see what I have here. I have megaohms. Let me see this little one here. All the same, all megaohms. it looks like, before I try to put any voltage into this, it looks like we have a short on the motor anyway to start with. Okay, let's gonna try to figure out where these wires are going. So purple wire, thick purple wire. Let's see if I find here on the UPC a thick purple wire. So I've checked already, and that's sorry, this cable goes through there, comes all the way here, then drops down, and then obviously it's going to come up again. So I think, let me put it here actually, I might have a better look. So I'm back probing over there, put it like this. So my black probe is on my purple wire on the plug. Purple wire, this is a thin wire, so it's not going to be this. Nope. Thick. Okay, there's only one thick purple wire coming up, which comes into this plug here. Look at that. 0. Let me put it here, maybe. Can't really see it, can you? Okay, so it's this one here on this brown plug, so 0.2 ohms, 0.3 is my plug PPH2. So that's a good wire there. Let's gonna check my next brown one. Actually, let me try to see my black. Will the black come up here? Probably not. The black is gonna go into the chassis somewhere, I'm pretty sure. He's not gonna come up here, will he? Or he will. Unless he comes, is that? So I have 0.3 ohms, 0.3 to my ground in there. But I could nearly swear that's going to come up here somewhere into one of these, but that's going to be a ground. Okay, most likely my ground is going to go into the chassis somewhere down there. I don't think it will come up here, but you never know. I can't really see a complete, there's no strip on this wire. No, there isn't. It's all black. I can't really see a black wire here on my, just keep coming off in there. Can't really see a black wire here, but all black obviously, but I'm gonna guess. No, I can't. I don't see one. From this side is not gonna come through there, so I don't. So might be that is merged with other wires and comes up with a different color, so not really sure. The other ones, the browns, there's another plug here that drops down in there. Let me take this plug out. Let me take this out, it'll be easier to start to track these wires. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm not liking these already. Okay, I'm not liking this already. Okay. Corrosion. I don't know if the phone is going to be able to show you that. Oh, he actually does. Look at that. Let me take other plugs out. See what we got. See what we got here. Okay, so this one is cleaned. Let me see this one here, for example. It's cleaned. This one is cleaned, kind of. Okay. Let me see if there's any more. Okay, let me see if there's any more corrosion. Okay, and we do have another plug. I don't know if you can see. I can't really show you down there, but this is right at the back, but there is corrosion on the pins, and guess where that comes from? Or guess one of the wires that comes to here. Is that one there. Okay, let me check, see if I can find the other one now. And I did found is on this other plug. 0.4 ohms is on this brown plug there, which is the other one. So we do have this plug, purple and brown, which comes from there, which I'm pretty sure is going to be my voltage. And then on this plug we have the other one that I strongly believe is going to be my parking signal, which is this brown, but this plug is all corroded anyway, which is not very good. So and we had water in there for sure on these plugs as well. Okay, so my next thing is going to be check fuses, make sure I don't have nothing, no fuses broken here. All the fuses are good. And after checking the fuse, I might gonna have to take this UPC out and check it properly. Okay guys, where are we at this point? Problem found. Now we'll see if we can repair it. So my first problem is actually the motor is shorted, 100% sure. So I have a motor here that is not for this car, or I don't think the motor will fit. This motor is from 307, from my old 307, if you guys remember that on some videos. Let me point the camera like this, and I just brought the motor here for two things. One, I want to measure the motor. So if you remember, that motor there was giving me like 1 ohm resistance between these two wires here, the ones I said at the beginning. I was convinced they will be my voltage, and I just wanted to look the ohms I get on this one. So I get about 3.2 ohms on this one. Okay, and on my other one I get, and I put it there, and on this one here I get, connecting there, I get 1.4 ohms. This is more close to a short to me. Now look what happens when I put voltage on that motor in there. So voltage, I'm gonna put ground here on my grey wire, and then in there, and look what happens. It just, you can't probably see it, nothing happens, the motor doesn't run, and I have this spark here. Okay, now we're gonna take this out, plug it into this motor here. Oh dear. And we're gonna put voltage again. Take this plug out of here. In my grey wire. No, it's not that grey. Yeah, it's that grey wire. And on my pink wire. And look what happens. There we go. Okay. And now the way the system works is the other wire, the one that is close to my other one, is my speed 1. So as you're gonna see, speed 1, the thin wire, which on the original plug would be the thin wire, which makes sense. Speed 1, speed 2, 1, 2, and now watch this. Okay, the setup we have here now to prove my theory is the following, and we will all learn a little bit about this. So this is plugged to the wire that I said is the signal wire, which is the pin, which is the wire straight after the ground, which is right here, and the other one is the ground. And I think that what the motor does is when it gets to the park position, it shorts the ground into the signal wire, so it sends ground back to the UPC to tell the UPC I'm in the park position. So I'm going to run the motor now in a slow speed, and what we should get is every now and then we're gonna hear a beep, which is when I get a short between ground and the signal wire. Let's gonna see if that happens. Let's put it in there. You can see the reading, kind of. Let's gonna see if we can. There we go. Have you heard that? And if I stop at the right position, no, it's just too much. There we go. Ground. So that's how it works. So as I said at the beginning, 100%, and I just got a comment this morning on a video saying I talk too much and I repeat things too many times. Maybe right. I will just carry on doing it, make sure everybody gets what I'm doing here. So what I do have here, let me turn that off now. There's no point to be here hearing the beep. So ground, speed 1, sorry, ground, speed 2, voltage, speed 1, signal. These grounds, the motor grounds puts the ground on this wire, and that's how the UPC knows is the motor is in the park position and it should stop. So that's how it works. Now if I go back, now I found the problem, guys, and I'm going to show you that, but not here now. Hold on. Okay, so I've traced everything down. My problem is I think the initial problem was the motor that obviously got short, and in turn it damaged the UPC. So we do have blown fuse in here. I don't know if you can see it. Clear enough. Can you see it? And this is indeed the fuse that goes into the wiper system. I've traced it all the way down in the PCB, in the lanes. I figured it all out. And what we do have 2 relays here. Okay, 1, 2. So this white relay is my main power, which I've traced it down, and it comes from one of these pins here. I've traced it down anyway. It comes straight into the fuse, okay? So it's my main power, or speed 1, I would say. And then you have one here, this little one, which is the one that switches over between speeds, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, anyway, is one of these 2 relays. Okay, one of the things I've noticed straight away is that I'm gonna test it, but I don't know if you can see this relay there. It's all bulging. It looks like it's this sort of quote they put on top, but it's not. It's all bulged in here. Okay, so I don't know if the relay still working or not, but I'm gonna test it by just applying voltage into these 2 pins here, right after my fingernail, which is my coil. I can measure the coil first, but we're gonna perhaps put voltage, just make sure it works. And the other one the same, the other relay, the white one, my pins is gonna be these and these here. It's gonna be that one and that one, I'm pretty sure. It's gonna be my coil. Yeah, it's gonna be my coil. It's gonna be these 2 here. So we're gonna apply voltage to these, make sure they work, and go from there, really. If the relays are good, then obviously it's just my motor, which I can actually easily test by just plugging that motor there. The other motor that's good. Actually, I could do that, but I don't like the way this relay is looking. I don't think this relay is going to be any good, but let's gonna try it. Okay, guys, it looks like we have good news. So first of all, I measure the coil. I really don't know if it comes on the camera, that relay all bulging there. I don't think it does come really, but It really looks like it's the, but it's not. It's not the thing. It's actually all bolts. Anyway, really good news. I've applied voltage on this coil. It is working. At least you can hear the click, so I really hope the contacts inside are good. So that's switching, and the white relay is also switching, so it looks like they are both good. So my next step is going to be replace this fuse, and I'm not going to connect the old motor, but I'm going to connect the new motor. Not the new, I don't even know if it's going to fit. I think I'm going to have to get another one, because like I said, that was from a Peugeot. But I'm going to plug that motor in rather than the other one, and replace this and see what happens. Obviously, before all that, we're going to clean all this corrosion before I put everything back on. But hopefully it was just a bad motor. So I know it's a long video to diagnose a bad motor, but at least there's some other info here that you guys might can appreciate as well. So let's gonna do that next. Okay, and we have put everything back on, cleaned everything, put everything back on, new fuse, and I plugged the car's plug obviously to this motor here that we know is good. And I think I'm gonna go inside, turn the ignition on, and see what happens. Okay, and I'm sure you guys have seen that, so it's working absolutely perfect. So what we have here, we have a bad motor in there. I don't know if I'm going to take you through the replacement and show everything working at the end. Don't know if it's really necessary, but because we diagnosed the problem is the motor, that's it. I don't even know if that motor is going to fit. I don't think it will fit anyway, because it's a different fitting, different stuff, different motor. It looks like it's different, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use that one. I think I'm going to wrap this video here because we found the issue. So my next step now is going to be just get another wipers motor, and that's it for this issue, really. Yes, I know I could have done this diagnose and repair in no time. I don't know how long the video is already by now, but guys, this is all about sharing information, try to take you through the thinking process, how I get to these conclusions, how I think about the problems, because that's the difference between a correct diagnostic or a wrong diagnostic. And I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it here, guys. So we found the issue, and we are going to just replace the motor now, or try maybe to reuse that one if it fits. I don't think it will, but that doesn't really matter. So that's it for this video, guys. What to say more? I really hope there's some information here that you're gonna find it useful. There is loads of information on this video, I'm sure. So I really hope you enjoy it. And if you do still have any questions, any comments, you know how it works, put them below. And like always, guys, thank you so much for watching.